I'm seriously excited for today's video because Persona 5 The Phantom X is finally here. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the game, sharing my first impressions, and talking about why this release actually surprised me. Also, big thanks to Sega for letting me check out the game early and sponsoring this video. So let's dive right in. First off, I just want to say, it still feels kind of surreal seeing a full Persona game playable on mobile. I mean, we're talking about a franchise known for its huge stories, stylish presentation, and deep mechanics. Having all of that in something I can play while lying on the couch or commuting, that alone already makes the Phantom X stand out. And the fact that it doesn't compromise on quality, that's what really got me. If you've ever played a Persona game before, you know they're not your typical RPGs. It's not just about battling monsters. It's about living your daily life as a student, building bonds with other characters, and diving into the metaverse to take on wild psychological threats. And now, for the very first time, this entire experience is being brought to mobile and PC with Persona 5 The Phantom X, a free-to-play title that aims to deliver the full Persona experience in a brand new story. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard about this game, I was curious, but also a little unsure. It's hard to imagine a franchise as stylish and deep as Persona being adapted to a new format like this. I was asking myself, can they really pull it off outside of the usual console experience? But now that I've spent some time with it, I can say this: the Phantom X doesn't feel like a side project or a watered-down version. It's a full-on Persona game with the same attention to detail, story depth, and gameplay mechanics that fans love, just brought to a more flexible and accessible platforms. And it's not just the gameplay loop that feels familiar. It's the tone, the pacing, even the little things like the sound effects and UI transitions. If you've played Persona 5, you'll notice those stylistic touches instantly. They've done a great job of making this feel like it belongs in the same universe without just copy-pasting the old formula. It's got its own vibe, but the DNA is unmistakably Persona. The Phantom X takes place in the universe of Persona 5, but this is a completely original story. You're not playing as Joker, and you're not replaying the original plot. Instead, you're thrown into a modern world where people are starting to lose their desires. Not in a fantasy way, but in a real, personal way. People are unmotivated, going through the motions, and it's almost like society is falling into a collective fog. It's up to a brand new group of phantom thieves to investigate and try to restore that missing spark. And honestly, I think the theme is super relevant. In today's world where burnout and apathy are becoming more common, the idea of a society slowly losing its will to dream or hope, that hits hard. Even though it's a fantasy game, it's got some real-world weight behind it, and I think that makes it even more engaging. Now, I haven't played deep enough to break down the whole plot, but what I can say is that it opens with that familiar Persona mystery, the kind that slowly pulls you in until you realize something much bigger is going on beneath the surface. And so far, the setup already feels strong and kind of relatable, which caught me off guard in the best way. What makes Persona unique isn't just its story, it's how that story is delivered. The Phantom X keeps the same rhythm fans are used to. You're going to school, choosing how to spend your time after class, taking on-site activities, and exploring the city. I visited the movie theater, hit up the Big Bang Burger Challenge, and just wandered Tokyo for a while. There's a lot of freedom here, and that slice-of-life balance really makes you feel like you're living in this world. And that's something I've always appreciated about this series. It doesn't rush you. You're not just sprinting from battle to battle. You're managing your time, choosing whether to study, hang out with someone, or just chill. It gives you that feeling of having a second life inside the game, and the Phantom X manages to keep that structure intact. Something I really enjoyed while playing was how the game handles cutscenes and storytelling. It's not just a bunch of plain text boxes or static dialogue. You actually get fully animated scenes, smooth transitions, and those slick Persona-style visuals that make everything feel super alive. It all looks really clean and dynamic, and it pulled me in right away. The pacing feels just right too. It doesn't overload you with info all at once, but it also doesn't drag. And the music? Classic Persona vibes. The soundtrack and sound effects during key moments really help set the mood and make scenes hit harder. It all comes together to create this atmosphere that just feels familiar, but still fresh. Another area where the Phantom X really shines is how it handles character interaction and exploration. You're not just following the main story the whole time, you're encouraged to engage with your surroundings. Whether it's chatting with classmates, accepting side quests, or discovering new parts of the city, it all ties back into building your character and your world. There's even a crafting system and some light resource management tucked into the side activities, which gives you more reasons to explore and interact with NPCs. It makes the world feel more connected, and it's kind of addictive deciding how to spend each in-game day. Combat-wise, if you're a fan of the classic Persona battle system, you're going to feel right at home. You've got turn-based fights, elemental weaknesses, baton passes, skill combos, and everything you'd expect. But there's also something new. Phantom idols. These are like cognitive manifestations of rebellious spirits, and they let you customize your party more than ever. They're not just visual additions, they actually give you strategic benefits. And from what I've seen so far, there's going to be a lot of potential for different team builds as the game expands. And from a gameplay standpoint, this opens the door to a lot of experimentation. Like, do you focus on stacking offensive power? Do you go for support skills or status effects? I haven't unlocked everything yet, but I can already tell that fans who love min-maxing their party are going to have a field day once more systems are introduced. One thing I was honestly surprised by is how good the game looks and runs. The animations are stylish, the UI feels super clean, and it never feels like corners were cut to make it fit on a smaller screen. Another big plus is you don't need to be a long-time Persona fan to jump in. This is a new story, new characters, and it doesn't expect you to know all the lore or previous games. It's perfect for newcomers. But if you've played Persona 5, you'll definitely notice some callbacks, Easter eggs, and references sprinkled in to reward returning fans. I want to give props to how smooth the controls feel. I expected some clunky UI or awkward inputs, but navigating menus and battles feels snappy. Even switching between menus or queuing up attacks is fast and responsive. That's the kind of thing that could have easily gone wrong, but thankfully it didn't. So far, I've done a mix of story progression, after-school events, and side missions, and everything feels polished. I didn't feel like I was playing a stripped-down or simplified version of Persona. It honestly felt like a full Persona experience. That's pretty rare when games move to a new platform like this. The part that still blows my mind is, this is a free game. Like, you can download it right now for free on Steam, Google Play, or the Apple App Store. No upfront cost. And from what I've experienced, it doesn't feel limited or hollow. You're getting full story content, full combat mechanics, and a rich game world without a price tag. As a Persona fan, this game really surprised me in a good way. I went in thinking it might be a lightweight side project, but what I found was something that respects the franchise and builds on it in a smart way. The new systems feel fresh, the pacing feels right, and the production quality is way higher than I expected for a free-to-play release. If I'm being honest, I think this could actually bring a lot of new people into the Persona world. It's more accessible, more portable, and more bite-sized, without losing the heart and soul that made the series popular in the first place. Whether you're grinding out battles or just catching a movie in-game, it really captures what makes Persona so immersive. If you're curious about the Persona universe or just want a stylish, story-rich RPG you can play anywhere, this is 100% worth checking out. The download links are down in the description, so make sure to check those out and grab the game for yourself. Thanks again to Sega for sponsoring the video. Also, thanks for watching. See you next time.